Thank you, Alia. And we can now open the ceremony with an introductory remark by myself. Honorable Chairman of the Geneva Center's Board of Management, Ambassador Ghazi Joma, esteemed Chair and members of the awards selection jury, ladies and gentlemen attending this ceremony from across continents, dear Geneva Center's human rights awardees who will be announced shortly, dear colleagues and friends. Allow me, Dr. Umesh Palvankar, Executive Director of the Geneva Center, to welcome you all on behalf of the Center's board, its staff, and my personal behalf. It's both a privilege and a pleasure to have you. We are here together as friends, supporters, and defenders of a shared vision to protect and promote human rights, which are the expression of the intrinsic and equal worth of each and every person comprising mankind. As an organization based in Geneva, the universally recognized pioneer and international hub of humanitarianism, our center decided to take the initiative last year by offering recognition to the admirable human rights work of highly engaged persons in the field, and of holding this award ceremony to commemorate International Human Rights Day, which this year falls on tomorrow, Saturday. That's why we hold the ceremony today. The program of the ceremony is as follows. Our board's chairman, Ambassador Joma, will deliver the opening address of the event. This will be followed by an allocution by the chairperson of the award selection jury, Mrs. Visakha Dharmadasa, who will also announce the winners of the awards. Then each of the four awardees will make a short presentation of their work in the field to promote human rights and how this award could help them in this regard. I will close the ceremony then with brief concluding remarks. Allow me now to call upon the chairman of the Geneva Center to deliver the ceremony's opening address. Ambassador Joma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Umesh. Excellencies, dear members of the award selection jury, members of Geneva Center board and staff, the human rights recognition awardees, dear colleagues and friends. I have the pleasure to inaugurate 2022 edition of the Geneva Center Human Rights Recognition Award ceremony. International Human Rights Day is celebrated annually to commemorate the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations General Assembly on 10 December 1948. To contribute to the celebration of these commemorative days, in 2021, the Geneva Center initiated its Human Rights Recognition Awards, which received widespread attention upon its inauguration. The Geneva Center's awards for human rights recognition are being given to individuals who work for the protection, promotion, and advancement of human rights. The Center trusts that the awards are not only an opportunity to acknowledge and increase the visibility of the significant work of such individuals, but also present an occasion to celebrate human rights achievements. This initiative falls within the framework of the Geneva Center's mandate to promote human rights and encourage field work in this regard. The Geneva Center for Human Rights Advancement and Global Dialogue is an independent human rights think tank and advocacy institution established in 2013 with its headquarters in Geneva. The center was granted special consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, in July 2017, and recently renewed for a new period of 4 years. The Geneva Center's mandate is based on the 4 pillars of research and publication on current human rights questions: training and national capacity building in human rights, advocacy through following and reporting on international human rights conferences, in particular the Human Rights Council, and significant development in the field of human rights. And fourthly, the cross-cutting pillar of promotion of a global, intercultural, and interreligious dialogue on vital human rights issues by organizing conferences and panel debates with publication of their proceedings to promote human rights worldwide and foster mutual understanding, tolerance, and the celebration of diversity among the different people and regions of the world. The theme of this year's awards is Youth in Human Rights Advancement. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, speaking about Youth 2030, Achieving the SDGs event in April 2022 said, I quote, "Young people are at the forefront of our efforts to secure a more inclusive, peaceful, and prosperous future for all," end of quote. In honor of Youth 2030, the important role they play and in support of the UN's special focus on youth, the Geneva Center's 2022 Human Rights Recognition Awards are dedicated to identify and acknowledge outstanding contribution and innovative projects undertaken by youth in their communities, where they have made a significant positive impact. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the awards selection jury president, Visakha Dharmasala from Sri Lanka, and to the other jury members, Mr. Syed Ahmed Fahim Masumi, from Afghanistan, Mr. Alex Ayub from Kenya, for their high interest in these awards. They devoted considerable time and effort to the difficult process of selecting the awardees from among several deserving candidates. This bears testimony to their steadfast commitment to advance human rights and the role of youth. With this, I open the Geneva Center Human Rights Awards 2022 edition and pass the floor to the event moderator, Dr. Umesh Palwankar, Executive Director of the Geneva Center. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, for your address, which has so adequately and eloquently offered the setting for this event to proceed. I now have the pleasure to call upon the Honorable Chair of the Awards Selection Jury, Mrs. Visakha Dharmadasa, for her allocution and for announcing the 4 awardees. Founder and Chair of the Association of War-Affected Women and Parents of Servicemen Missing in Action in Sri Lanka, Mrs. Dharmadasa was able to bring women together across the divide to work for peace. She was awarded the prestigious Humanitarian Award for 2006 by Interaction of Washington, D.C. Moreover, she was nominated for a collective Nobel Peace Prize in 2005. She is a member of Women Waging Peace, Women's Alliance for Security Leadership, Global Network of Women Peace Builders, and Women Mediators across the Commonwealth. She holds degrees in negotiations and mediation skills and in women and security from Harvard. Visakha, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson, Ambassador Joma, Your Excellencies, Dr. Palwankar, the fellow jury members, the awardees, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. First of all, I wish to thank the Geneva Center for Human Rights Advancement and Global Dialogue for giving this wonderful opportunity. First, to be of the esteemed jury of selection, and also to speak a few words today. At the outset, I want to recognize and thank the fellow jury members, Mr. Alex Ayub from Kenyan Red Cross Society and Mr. Said Mozomi from Afghanistan and Bonn for their support and expertise in selecting the Youth Human Rights Awardees this year. As we all know, human rights plays a crucial role in our lives in making very small as well big changes of how the world works and move forward. More than ever before, it is very important today to protect the rights of all living beings, including the plants, if this planet to be what we want it to be. We all know our most basic needs is food and air for our existence, and protecting the plants which give us food and the air to breathe is an urgent need. We also know not only for us to exist, but also for all of us to live with dignity. Justice is very important. We cannot call for equality without justice, or for that matter, we cannot protect the rights of anyone if there is no justice. Also, very importantly, when there is no justice, there is no peace. This is why it's extremely important to work towards a just world where not only humans, but all can live with dignity. I'm very happy today because we are here to celebrate the work of youth who have dedicated their lives in making life better for thousands of others. It is also a happy day for the world because there is an assurance that young people are taking the lead in protecting and promoting rights, not only for themselves, but also of others in very difficult and challenging situations. I therefore would like to announce the winners of this year's Human Rights Awards and wish to say that the decisions were taken unanimously by the jury. The first human rights defender we selected is Ms. Stacey Dina from Kenya for her work on preventing female genital mutilations. As we all know, traditional practices combined with religion, however harmful it is for the individual, very difficult for a community to agree and for a society to accept. We also know that thousands of girls develop serious medical complications, and also sometimes they die due to this practice. Working to end it in societies that believe in the practice is very hard and very challenging. We therefore selected Ms. Stacey for her very hard work of protecting girls in her community and beyond. Our second winner is Mr. Jose Adolfo Pizicala Condori from Peru. I hope I got your name correct, sir. For his innovative idea, a triple impact project of using solid waste as an asset for generating money for the food and education of children, and also using the waste for recycling and reducing the usage of raw materials such as plant products and protecting the nature, the environment, which is the need of the day. The third we selected is Dr. Kirti Bharati from India for her very challenging work on ending child marriages, especially on annulment of child marriages. As we know, social practices for thousands of years, maybe for good reasons at that time, is more harmful today. Giving a girl in marriage was a challenge for a family because of the dowry and because they had to protect her. But this practice inhibits the development of that individual, her education, her well-being, and most of all, her personality as a human being is challenged. But since this is also a practice for generations, changing it is very challenging. And for her courage of work and also the innovation of ending marriages, she is our third awardee this year. Last but not least, our honorary awardee this year is Ms. Tamara Altibi, a lawyer by training, for her work on women, peace and security, as well as youth, peace and security agenda in a very difficult area. And also the very hard work she does under very difficult conditions. I take this opportunity to congratulate the award winners and wish all of them good luck in their very important work and look forward in seeing and hearing their inspirational work for years to come. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Dharmadasa, for those very insightful observations and for announcing the awardees. Before giving them the floor, I would wish to reiterate the Geneva Center's gratitude also to the two other members of the jury, Mr. Syed Masumi from Afghanistan and Mr. Alex Ayub from Kenya. Mr. Masumi, in 2018, had the opportunity to take the lead of exchange programs as country director and increase the number of exchanges with a high number of girls' engagement in various projects. In 2019, with his colleagues, he designed Rural Women's Entrepreneurship Project to support women with a new set of skills. His project was funded by UN Women. The project was named SDG Good Practice by the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, DESA. Currently, he works with the United Nations Research Institute for Social Development as a research analyst. And he was our last year's awardee of honor. Welcome. Mr. Alex Ayub is currently the National Youth Manager and Road Safety Focal Point at the Kenya Red Cross Society. Mr. Ayub also serves as a Youth Leadership Board member at the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety and the United Nations Road Safety Fund. He participated in a youth delegates training program in Finland in 2016, youth road safety advocacy training in South Africa in 2018 and 2019, the Global Youth Summit in Norway in 2019, and the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies Leadership Forum in Togo in 2019. He also trained youth leaders from Finland, Zimbabwe, and Kenya in Finland in 2019. A great thank you to you both too. I will now call upon the three awardees to make their brief 5 minutes presentations as mentioned earlier. Stacey Dina, who is away, is represented here by her colleague, Cynthia. Cynthia, you have the floor. Cynthia, is your mic unmuted?
Yes. Just a minute, please. Okay. Yes, my name is Cynthia Teno, Tech Lead Uncut Gems Anti-Gem Foundation. I'm standing in for Stacey Dina Owino. She's there somewhere else. And then, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the Geneva Center for Human Rights Advancement and Global Dialogue and to the Human Rights Cognition Awards for honoring our work as one of the recipients for Youth Human Rights Champions 2022 edition. I would also like to thank them for the work they do every year to recognize and appreciate the efforts of human rights activists all over the world. I'm honored to be receiving this award on behalf of the team. The foundation is guided by 5 young women who are passionate about using tech for social good. As a profit, our mission is to accelerate the fight against female genital mutilation, and we see a world where girls, 1, are empowered, 2, where girls are free from all forms of genital violence, especially female genital mutilation, and 3, a world where girls' voices are heard, enabling them to enjoy their rights and make informed choices of their lives. We developed a mobile application called ICAT that connects girls who are at the risk of undergoing female genital mutilation to relevant authorities, hospitals, and rescue centers by calling or sending an SMS. In addition to this, we educated the general public on female genital mutilation and its effects. ICAT is available for download on Play Store. Throughout the application development stages, we've been able to pilot the application in different parts of Kenya, Narok and West Pokot counties. We have been able to dialogue with other 30 girls in high schools and community members. In addition, we've trained 17 In addition, we've trained 17 community champions on how to use the mobile application and also creating awareness on female genital mutilation. Receiving the Human Rights Award will also allow us to carry out the more community sensitization outreaches, hopefully reaching out to more girls and community champions. We are very grateful to have the support of the Geneva Center for Human Rights Advancement and the jury international members. Once again, on behalf of my team at Uncut Gems and Gem Foundation, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to receive this award. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Thank you, Cynthia, on behalf of Stacy. Priti Bharti, the floor is yours.
Khamma Ganisa. It's a cultural Indian greetings. I, daughter of India, Dr. Kriti Bharti, I'm sending you these warm and colorful greetings with full of peace and love from my heart. A very warm respect to the distinguished members of Geneva Center for Human Rights Advancement and Global Dialogue and renowned jury members. Today is one of the remarkable days of my life. I'm humbled and thankful to the Geneva Center and jury members that they have selected me for this precious award. This award belongs to my God, my maternal grandparents, my mother who has single-handedly raised me, my close friends and my well-wishers. Without their support and wishes, this moment of recognition cannot be happened. Moreover, this award belongs to the survivors of child marriages who want to break the shackles of abuse and exploitation. This award notifies that abuse and exploitation is going to end soon. That every type of abuse and exploitation is going to end soon, and I'm hoping very positive towards it. For me, we can't achieve the implementation of human rights until we ensure the child and women rights are established. And for the establishment of these human rights, I'm working daily, facing attacks, rape threats, and death threats, working almost 16 to 18 hours, sometimes without having food and sleep. But all of my efforts and sacrifices have paid me a satisfaction of giving a new life to the victims. Coming to my work front, I have annulled the first child marriage of India. Before this, no one has thought about the victims who were struggling into the shackles of child marriages. People here were only focused on the prevention part. Yes, prevention is important, but curing the disease is more important. For me, child marriage is a disease, and through the vaccine of child marriage annulment, I'm just curing the victims from this life-threatening, deadly disease. As it was first time in India when any child marriage was annulled, it was recorded into World Records, Limca Book of Records. Later, the School Board of India has also included my work into their curriculum. After this, different actions of my mission against child marriages were recorded into 7 international and national record books. I have been honored many times at national and international level, even from the Bollywood, Hollywood, and TV industry, and also have been fortunate to represent my country, India, at national level in London and Colombo, where I was honored too. But if you really ask me what is my great achievement, then I would say I have annulled the first child marriage of India. Since then, I have annulled 47 pairs of child marriages. Yes, I'm going to hit my half century soon. Along with this, 1,600 child marriages have been stopped from occurring. 15,500 victims are rehabilitated who were abused through different protection issues, and has made 25,000 people to take oath to not to be a part of any child marriages. I'm not only working on the child marriage annulment of these survivors, but I'm also working on their education and rehabilitation, which includes shelter, livelihood, counseling, education, training, empowerment, re-establishment. All in one, on one hand, I'm working for the justice of survivors, and on the other hand, I'm working on the best rehabilitation so that they get a new golden life. Coming to my personal life, I am the one who has learned the definition of abuse and exploitation before learning the alphabets. My life was very struggling. My father has abandoned me before my birth. My relative doesn't wanted my mother to bring me on earth, so they wanted to abort the child. But the medical condition doesn't allow them. God wanted me to take birth on this earth. In India, it's a phrase, it's an Indian phrase, Jako Rakhi Saiya Mar Sakina Koi. It means the one who is protected by Almighty God, no one can kill or harm that person. And I'm that one. After my birth, no one has accepted me, protected me. Everyone was there to abuse me through verbally and physically. At the age of 10, when I was in 4th standard, I was being poisoned. It affected each part of my body. I could not walk, sit, and even can't do anything. I was bedridden. All the available treatments of India, like allopathic, Ayurvedic, homeopathy, everything was tried, but nothing worked. After 2 years, I was cured by Reiki therapy. I learned to crawl again, sit again, walk again. After getting a new life, I literally started my new life and took the first revolutionary step of my life, that was the changing of my surname. Bharti is not my biological surname. I have been decorated with this surname by my Gurudev. Bharti means daughter of India, which makes me to see beyond casteism, beyond patriarchy. After this, I had started working with many non-profit organizations, and then I realized that I just want to work on root level. So I established my own non-profit organization, that is Sarthi Trust, in session 2011 and 12, so that I could reach to the root level and can change the scenario. In this last decade, I have changed the scenario for children and women. There was nobody to save me, but here I am, the elder sister of these victims, these survivors, who will save them till the last breath of mine. Last but not the least, my dream is that the victims, child marriages, and all type of abuse and exploitations should be seen only at one place, that is textbooks. And one day we all collectively say, once upon a time, there was a child marriage. Once upon a time, there was abuse and exploitation. And I'm pretty confident that this dream will surely come true. Thank you for listening me. Thank you again for this precious Human Rights Award, as this will ease my path of giving justice and rehabilitating to the victims. Dhanyavad, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Kriti, for that poignant testimony. Jose Adolfo, over to you. And if you could please, as I requested at the outset, keep it to 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, okay, don't worry. Well, hi everyone. I will gonna talk about my country, Peru. In fact, currently in Peru, we are experiencing a political crisis that affects as always the children and young people of the country. In fact, here in Peru and in the region of Latin America, the future of our nations are ignored and forgotten by our authorities. We do not have access to our basic rights, and this situation is not from now. This happens for a long time. This sad reality was motivated me at the age of 7 to create a solution for all those children and young people in a state of vulnerability in my country. Thus creating the Eco Student Bank, El Banco del Estudiante, where I seek to raise awareness about the climate crisis, make children and young agents of change to properly manage our money in order to achieve our dreams, and included them within the financial system, offering them financial products that allow their personal and professional development, that is so important here, while save our planet Earth. I currently have more than 10 years of experience leading this initiative with a social, economic, and environment impact. in which I have directly benefited more than 8,000 children and young people in my country, rescuing 45 tons of solid waste per month. And the result of this effort of mine is incredible. Seeing children have access to education, health, food, in general, a decent life makes me happy because we deserve it and we cannot wait for any politician or adult to continue talking and talking, pretending that they care about us. I am so grateful for this recognition of my work, which made it easier for me to create the social franchise, which allows my project to reach more children and young people in my country. The world where a girl or a boy wants to implement this experience and this project and together make children and young people in this world more independent economically and power of influence the climate. Finally, I want to send a message to all the children and young people in the world, but above all those children who believe that everything is lost and who have lost their hope and desire to fight for a better world. This is our home. We are not the future, we are the present, and we need to act now and show everyone that we can change the world without much questioning. Just be following our hearts. Guys, it's time to act and not be afraid to raise your voice and speak loud if necessary to make ourselves respected. We are not synonymous of weakness. We are synonymous of resilience and many good values. We are pure, without evil, without our own ambition. We are agents of change, and it is time to let us be the defenders of our own rights. Es tiempo de abrir los ojos y actuar. Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias, Jose Adolfo, for that very interesting and motivating statement. I now give the floor to our awardee of honor, Tamara Altibi. You have the floor, Tamara.
Thank you so much. Okay. I am humbled and confident that you have pleased me to choose you as the winner of the honorary prize for human rights for the year 2022. This means a lot to me and increases my passion to work on initiatives in the field of human rights. And it will also be a source of inspiration for many young people to complete the process of realizing human rights, which this is the right time to give other young people an opportunity to be leaders working in human rights issues. The opportunities that I got to refine my personality promoted me to be honored to be here today, which give me the skills of critical thinking and the design of human-centered initiatives that allowed me to be a defender of human rights and led me to design many initiatives, the latest of which is the study of the Palestinian juvenile courts to activate community accountability and to promote democracy and good judgment, and to ensure that the courts adhere to international agreements ratified by the state Palestine, and to ensure the enforcement and implementation of local laws. Best attention, optimal commitment of the justice sector to fair trial fairness for juveniles. I am now very excited to continue this path, and I am in the process of publishing a study on the reality of juvenile justice in Palestinian courts. The result of the study shows that there are still many human rights violations and lack of fair trial guarantees for juveniles during this period. Ultimately, I look forward to working with the target audience of judges, lawyers, and other sectors to enhance fair trial guarantees and advance human rights issues in Palestine In conclusion, I promise all of you that this honorary award will increase my responsibility towards human rights issues in my society to achieve a better future in which everyone enjoy their rights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamara, for those inspiring observations and all the efforts that they are going to be followed up with. Let me conclude by noting that youth are indeed at the forefront of fighting injustice in human society. They are at the horizon of fundamental reflections and innovative approaches to the complex set of problems and threats facing us all. Youth represent the true forces of transformative change. They possess the unbound energy and motivation that the international community needs, as borne out, for example, by their activism in support of protecting the environment at the recent COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in November. And at the beginning of the 15th edition COP15 of the UN Biodiversity Conference in Montreal, Canada, earlier this week, the Global Youth Biodiversity Network held a side event at which the UN Secretary General Guterres called on youth leadership to push for justice, to restore the balance between humans and nature. To quote him, "Youth leadership is the best signal of hope. Youth are on the front line of the battle to rescue humankind," unquote. Indeed, the future of the world society lies largely in their hands, and the Geneva Center, through this year's award, whose theme is precisely youth, offers a modest recognition of their invaluable contribution. A huge thank you to you all present for your active and rich participation, which enabled this event to be such a success. I once again warmly congratulate the awardees with whom we will continue to interact, and thank the esteemed chair and members of the jury. I'm sure with regard to the awardees that their work will serve as an example to many others to promote and further respect for human rights the world over. I thus close this ceremony with my best wishes to all for the new year. Thank you.